Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you are doing very well. Today's lesson will be about the Earth moves around the sun. We all know this, but let's see what's gonna happen when the Earth moves around the sun. So, how much time does it take? What's the type of moving is that? What happens when the Earth move around the sun? Let's see. Bismillah. The Earth revolves or moves around the sun. We know this. When Earth moves around the sun, it has a way. We have to know this. It's a stabled way, a stabled path, the path that the Earth moves around the sun, this path. What does it mean when we say stabled way? It means you can never say, for example, this year the Earth is going to move around the sun on this black line. Another year, a little farther, another year is going to be a little closer or something like that. No, it will never change. It will move on this black line continuously forever. So, Earth is going to move around the sun on this way, on this path. We call this path orbit. Orbit is the way of the Earth or the path of the Earth that move around the sun. So, and the shape of the orbit, the shape of the orbit is like an egg. You see, it's not circle. The orbit is not circle. The orbit means this black line that Earth move around the sun. So this black line, you see that it's like an egg, and we call this ellipse. But because it's not perfect ellipse, we call this a slight ellipse. So until now, we have to know what's orbit. Orbit is the path that the Earth moves around the sun. What's the shape of the orbit? Slight ellipse. So how much time? Let's see. How much time does it take for the Earth to move around the sun? What does it mean? It means if Earth starts from here, move on this way and come back to its place. This is completing the way, right? Finishing the way. It's so the way is going to start again. It's going to be restarted here. So how much time does it take? 365 days and 6 hours, or we can say 1 year. It takes 1 year, or we can say 365 days and 6 hours to move around the sun. This way, this path, this orbit is too long. That's why it's gonna take that much time. So, and which direction is that gonna move? In here? You see the arrows are here. You see, it means from to the left side. You see, Earth is gonna move to the left side according to the arrows. It's clear, right? We call the direction of the movement an anti-clockwise direction. Why we say anti-clockwise? You see, the clock is moving like this: 12 to 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see, it means to the right side. This is clock, but anti-clock is to the left side. 12, 11, 10. You see, the Earth is gonna move to the left side, move around the sun to the left side, not to the right like clock. It's anti-clock, opposite to the clock. So that's why we call this anti-clockwise direction. The movement of the Earth around the sun is anti-clockwise direction. So when the Earth moves around the sun, some things are going to happen. One of them is changing seasons. We need this for today. Changing seasons. What are the reasons for changing seasons? We have two main reasons. One, Earth orbits the sun. We all know when the Earth is moving around the sun, the seasons are changing. If, for example, we are going to be in winter and the Earth is going to stop moving around the sun, so we're going to stay in winter. But when the Earth moves around the sun, the days are going to change, and so what's going to happen? The months are going to change, so the seasons are going to change. So it means one of the reasons for changing the seasons is this, that the Earth moves around the sun. When the Earth moves around the sun, we are changing the seasons, our 4 seasons. Another one is the tilt of Earth's axis. This black line, we call this Earth's axis. We have studied last year too. So this is the axis of the Earth. You see, it's not upright. You see, it's not going to start from the bottom to the up. You see, this is upright, but it's like from right to left. You see, right to left, like kind of tilted. So we can say the tilt of Earth's axis. The Earth's axis is tilt. It's an imaginary line here. So it means the reasons for changing seasons are two. One, Earth orbits the sun, when Earth orbits gonna orbit the sun, and the tilt of Earth's axis, this black line, you see there, because it's tilt, so it's gonna change the seasons. We're gonna study how much sun does it take to change the seasons. So, and something else, we have it on the Earth, we have North Pole and South Pole. Between these two, we have the center. This black line is the center of the Earth. We call this equator, which is the middle, the center of the Earth. So this is North Pole, this is South Pole, and the center is equator. We have two things that are very, very easy, like Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. What is Northern Hemisphere? What is Southern Hemisphere? So our Earth is going to be divided into these two. The countries on the Earth, the countries of the Earth will be divided for Northern Hemisphere countries and Southern Hemisphere countries. Which countries will be belong to Southern Hemisphere? Which countries will be belong to Northern Hemisphere? Let's see. The countries between North Pole to the equator, it means from this black line up above, okay, you see these countries, these are going to be Northern Hemisphere. So this is the Northern Hemisphere. Why? Because it's between the equator and the North Pole. It means from the top to the middle, from the north to the center of the Earth. We call this Northern Hemisphere. Where any country will be between the North Pole to the equator, we call this Northern Hemisphere. And the Southern Hemisphere includes the countries between South Pole to the equator. From the equator, if you go down to the South Pole, what country is going to be here will be in Southern Hemisphere. So it means the countries between North Pole to the equator, to the center, to the half of the Earth, we call this Northern Hemisphere. And the countries between South Pole to the equator, to the center, to the middle of the Earth, to the half of the Earth, South Pole to the center, to the equator, we call this Southern Hemisphere. So, only these two, Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. This is going to be according to their places. Between North Pole to the equator, Northern Hemisphere. South Pole to the equator, Southern Hemisphere. Done, that's it. And the month that you are living in depends on which hemisphere are you living in. So you can find your country. Where is your country? That between the North Pole to the equator or between South Pole to the equator. So you will find it, and you will find your month easily. So we have to know something else. This is kind of we have sun and what do you call Earth. We have these two that they are going to exert gravity on each other. It means they are going to pull each other. Why the Earth is not gonna go out from this orbit? Why it's moving on this orbit? Because of the gravity, because of pulling between Earth and Sun. Sun is going to pull it, and Earth is going to pull it too. So it means there is a pulling force between these two. So that's why the Earth is not gonna go out from the orbit. It's not gonna go like that. You see? So because of this pulling, it's like we can say like a rope that the sun takes Earth with it. When the Earth is gonna want to go out, the sun is going to pull it. It doesn't let it to go out. You see, just imagine. But the sun exerts a greater gravity on the Earth than the Earth on the sun, because the sun is bigger. We have a rule that where the bigger object will exert greater gravity on the smaller object compared to this. It means they both are going to exert gravity on each other. But why the sun's pulling is stronger, why the sun's gravity is more? Because the sun is bigger. It's larger, that's why. So if you know, there's like a note, you have to know it. So until now we just did this. Let's go for the next part. So when Northern Hemisphere is we have talked about the Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. So let's see What should we know about them? When northern hemisphere is having summer, the southern hemisphere is going to have winter. What does it mean? Guys, first of all, we have to know some notes. When we say summer, when we use summer word, we mean the day is longer. When you say northern hemisphere is having summer, it means in the northern part of the earth, the day is longer. When you say the northern hemisphere is having winter, it means in the northern part of the earth, northern hemisphere part, the night is longer. When the night is longer, what does it mean? It means the day is shorter. When the day is longer, the night is shorter. So it's easy. It means you have to know that summer, when you hear summer, it means the day is longer. When you hear winter, it means the night is longer. When you hear spring and autumn, not summer, not winter, spring and autumn, we have to know that the days and nights are equal. Both of them are equal. I mean, like about equal. We cannot say exactly 12 hours and 12 hours. So, but because we can just say about it. So it means that in spring and autumn, the days and nights are equal. So to understand this easily, guys, this diagram here, you can just see. We said that this is the Earth's axis, right? And it's gonna move around the sun for changing the months and changing the seasons. So guys, just to understand, this black line, just imagine this black line, the right side of the black line, you see, the right side of the black line is northern hemisphere. And the left side is southern hemisphere. So easy. It means if you you are looking on the paper or the book or something in front of you, the picture. So you see, this is the black line, this is the earth. The right side of the black line, this is the right side. You see, this is the right, this is left. So this is the right side of the black line, which is northern hemisphere. And this is the left side, which is southern hemisphere. So if you understand these two, the others will be very, very easy. If you just know which one is the northern hemisphere, which one is southern hemisphere. And it's so easy. When you say we have the black line, the right side is the northern hemisphere, the left side is southern hemisphere. Actually, for finding northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, we have to follow the tilt, this Earth's axis, you know, the North Pole and South Pole. But to understand easier, we can say this, right and left. So now, we have to know something else. If you know that which side is northern hemisphere, which side is southern hemisphere, so the others will be very, very easy. Which side is going to face to the sun? You see, tilted toward the sun. We are going to say tilted toward the sun, face it toward to the sun. This side will have summer. And the side that away from the sun is going to have winter. What does it mean? We have studied before. We said the hemisphere that has summer means the day is longer. The hemisphere that has winter means the night is longer. So if you look at this December here, which side is gonna which side faces toward the sun? You see the left side, right? This is the black line, the left side. Which one was the left side? The left side was southern hemisphere. It means because southern hemisphere faces toward the sun, we say southern hemisphere has summer. So what about northern hemisphere? Of course, if southern hemisphere has summer, we have studied here, the northern hemisphere is going to have winter. It's going to opposite. It's going to be opposite, okay? So, but in June, which side faces toward the sun? You see, in June, right side. So it means right side faces toward the sun. It means right side has summer. Which side will face to the sun? This side will have summer. Be careful. The small note. Which side faces toward the sun? This side will have summer. This side will have day. It means day is longer. In here, which side of the black line? The right side. The right side is what? Northern hemisphere. We said right is northern hemisphere, left is southern. So the right side faces toward the sun. So tilted toward the sun, face it to the sun. we say that the right side is going to have summer. So what's right side? Northern hemisphere. It means in June, northern hemisphere faces to the sun, tilted toward the sun. That's why the northern hemisphere is having summer. What about southern hemisphere, which is the left side? You see left side. In December, the left side faces to the sun, but in June, the left side is away from the sun. You see? In June, the northern hemisphere, the right side is facing to the sun, but in here, the right side is away from the sun. So be careful. When the Earth is gonna move, I'm taking the amount of the light will change from one hemisphere to the other hemisphere. So in December, shortly, because this left side, which is southern hemisphere, faces to the sun, it has summer. The days are longer. Because the right side, which is the northern hemisphere, is away from the sun, it has winter. The nights are longer. But in June, it's opposite. The right side, which is northern hemisphere, faces to the sun, it has summer. It means the days are longer in right side. Right side is what? Northern hemisphere. It means in northern hemisphere, the days are longer. It has summer. And the left side, which is southern hemisphere, is away from the sun. It has winter. The nights are longer. So it means for December and June are very clear. We can understand them. We said that we are going to follow this pole. Which pole is tilted toward the sun? In here, south pole. In here, south. Here, south. Here, south. 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 Until here. You see? In these parts, all the south pole, you see the tilt of the Earth's axis. We see? The axis is here. South pole tilted toward the sun. That's why southern hemisphere is having summer. But in here, North Pole, North Pole, North Pole, North Pole, North Pole, North Pole, until here, you see? It means from June to November, the North Pole tilted toward the sun, you see? North Pole. The South is out of the orbit, you see? That's why. It means from December to May, the South Pole is inside the orbit, North Pole is out of the orbit. It means South Pole is tilted toward the sun. That's why South Pole, southern hemisphere, is having summer. And northern hemisphere is having winter. And from June to November, you see that the North Pole tilted toward the sun. You see, until November, the North Pole. It means the north from June to November, the North Pole is inside the orbit. The South Pole is out of the orbit. It means, what does it mean? It means north tilted toward the sun. That's why northern hemisphere is having summer. What does it mean? Days are longer, nights are shorter. I mean, the correct scientific way is this. Which pole is inside the orbit? Which pole tilted to the sun? This is in here, December to May, the South Pole tilted toward the sun, inside the orbit. In June to November, this North Pole inside the orbit and tilt toward the sun. But for easier understanding, we say this: right and left. Right is northern hemisphere, left is southern hemisphere. If you look at the pictures, you'll see clearly see that when the right side is away from the sun or what. So, and let's see. That was about December and June. Having summer and heavy winter. What about both in September and March? In both of these, the right side and the left side, you see the right side and the left side, half of the Earth is going to face to the sun. What does it mean? It means the half of the South Pole, southern hemisphere, half of the northern hemisphere will face to the sun. So we said if northern hemisphere tilted faces to the sun, northern hemisphere is summer. We said if southern hemisphere tilted toward the sun, southern hemisphere is going to be summer. But now both of them are going to be tilted toward the sun. So what does it mean? It means the days and nights are equal. We don't have summer and winter. None of them will be, none of the hemispheres will be longer than the other one. We don't have days and longer or nights are longer. We say the days and nights are equal in September and March because both sides, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, will be tilted toward the sun, face it toward the sun, face it to the sun. That's why we say the days and nights are equal. So easy. So and it said, and here are some notes about this. The side of the earth facing to the sun is having summer. You see, this is the sun comes from this side. This side is going to have day. Why? Because it has summer. It has sun. And the side of the sun, the earth is away from the sun. You see, the sun is from the left side. So the right side of the earth, you see this side, is night because it doesn't get any sunlight from the sun. And the tilt of earth's axis, it makes, you see, the north pole continuously have night, south pole continuously have day. That's why we know it. For 6 months, you see, in from December to May, south pole will continuously have daylight, and north pole will continuously have night. From June to November, you see, north pole tilted to the sun, south is away, south is out, you see. So from June to November, south pole will have night, and north pole will have day. It means only the poles, guys. I don't say southern hemisphere or northern hemisphere. Only the poles. South pole, north pole. They are going to change. 6 months. South pole will have day and north pole will have night. Other 6 months, north pole will have day. I mean opposite. I don't know how I say. So north pole will have daylight for 6 months. When the north pole have daylight, the south pole is dark, it's night. And the other 6 months, south pole will have daylight and north pole will have night. So that's about the today's lesson. I hope you understand everything, and thank you so much.